Welcome back to Horror Movies.
Today, I will be showing you an American horror thriller film from 2011 titled 247 Degrees Fahrenheit. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and take care. At the beginning of the movie, we see Jenna and her fiancé Jamie, who are driving in their car at night. The soon-to-be married couple is very loving to each other, but there is a tragedy waiting for them ahead of their journey. While going back to their house, they are met with a fatal car accident, which heavily injures Jenna. After the accident, it is revealed that Jenna's fiancé Jamie is dead. 3 years later, Jenna's friend Renee is taking her on a trip. They are joined by Renee's boyfriend Michael and his good friend Ian. Renee's motive behind this trip is to set up Jenna with Ian. She hasn't dated anyone since her fiancé's death, so she wants her to move on with her life and get into a relationship. When the two guys are alone, Ian confesses to Michael that he found Jenna very cute. The four of them get into a boat to reach a lakeside cabin where they'll be staying. When they reach the lakeside cabin, we see that a man has been waiting for them. That man is Ian's uncle Wade. Ian says that the cabin belongs to his uncle. Wade warmly welcomes them and offers them a drink. Everyone happily accepts the drink, but Jenna kindly refuses. While everyone enjoys their shot, Jenna goes inside the cabin. Inside, we see Jenna enter the bathroom and then take out a bottle of pills. She has been taking antidepressants ever since the tragic accident 3 years ago. It seems she hasn't fully moved on from her fiancé's untimely death. In the evening, four of them have dinner with Uncle Wade while getting acquainted with one another. It can be seen that Ian has started liking Jenna while she is not ready to move on. After dinner, Jenna goes outside to play with Wade's dog. Outside she sees Michael purchasing some kind of drug but decides to ignore it. Shortly after, Wade arrives and informs them that he has fixed some invitations for them to a nearby party. He also informs them that nobody will be allowed to enter the party without the invitation passes since it is a private party. He then leaves the cabin saying that he has to go work on something. Everyone was having a good time, but Jenna felt a little out of place. She wasn't even sure whether she wanted to go to the party or not. The four friends discuss that they have some time before they can go to the party, so they decide to relax in the sauna bath. The boys go early to start the sauna, leaving the two girls alone. Renee tells Jenna that she doesn't have to join them if she feels uncomfortable, but Jenna insists that she's okay with it. She goes to get ready and we see that she still has the engagement ring tied to her necklace. In an effort to move on, she takes the necklace off and keeps it in a drawer with her pills. Ren, Michael, and Ian have already entered the sauna, and Michael starts to get excited to see his girlfriend in a bikini. A little later, Jenna comes downstairs and takes 2 bottles of water with her for emergency purposes. She still isn't sure if she wants to do this and feels uncomfortable going inside. But just when she is about to return, Ian opens the door and asks her to come in. So, Jenna finally goes inside the sauna bath and joins her friends. Ren takes a bottle of water and starts to drink. While the boys are happy with their beers, Ian says that the sauna was actually designed by Wade. To demonstrate the sauna's design, Ian pours water over the hot rocks, which quickly lets out hot steam. After a while, the heat inside the room starts to get stronger, and soon, it gets unbearable for all of them. Ian then suggests they should go out and jump in the lake and return after cooling off their body. All of them agree to this and get out of the sauna. They jump into the lake and balance the temperature of their body with the cold water. They are all enjoying the experience. A few minutes later, they return back and both the girls enter the sauna while Ian and Michael share a drink in the kitchen. Renee asks Jenna if she is having fun, and Jenna replies that she is. Ian also admits to Michael that he likes Jenna, before going inside. Michael, on the other hand, starts to drink excessively to a point where he barely has control over his own body. A little later, they once again go outside into the lake to cool their body. And when they return, Michael wants his girlfriend to come with him to his room. Since he is drunk, Michael wants to sleep with her, but Ren is in no mood for that and also hates the fact that Michael is heavily drunk. She tells off Michael and angrily slams the sauna door. Michael also gets furious after facing rejection from his girlfriend. Renee starts to complain about Michael to her friends and tells them Michael is ruining everyone's mood. All of a sudden, they hear the noise of Michael falling to the ground. Renee believes that Michael is just trying to get her attention. Ian doesn't want his friends to fight, so he gets up to bring Michael back inside. But Renee stops him and tells him to just leave him alone. Ian closes the door and Renee starts to get frustrated. Since Renee's mood has already been ruined, she wants to go to her room. She gets up and tries to open the door, but she can't seem to get it open. Ian then tries to get the door open. He tries with all his strength to move the door, but it doesn't even move an inch. Seeing this, Jenna starts to panic after realizing that they are all stuck inside the sauna. Renee calls out to Michael thinking that it was him who locked them inside. Ian also calls Michael to let them outside, but they get no response. Ian says that if Michael is joking with them, he will eventually let them out. But Jenna is starting to get anxiety attacks since she didn't take her pills before getting inside the sauna. Renee is concerned that Michael is so drunk that he might forget that they are inside. Ian and Ren check the door and find that something is blocking the door, which was preventing it from being opened. Renee starts to worry that they might lose their life if nobody opens the door. The heat controller is also outside the sauna. So, they cannot lower the temperature from inside the room. They cannot sit inside waiting for someone to come and open the door. So, Renee tries to break the glass window, but she's too weak to even crack it. Ian then takes a towel and tries to grab a rock from the sauna heater. Since it's extremely hot, Ian takes the rock out with the help of a wooden tool. He manages to get a rock out, but it's still too hot for him to hold. So, they take the water bottles and they each take a few sips from them. Ian pours the remaining water into the bucket and puts the rock in it to let it cool. When the rock gets cool enough, Ian grabs it and starts to smash the glass window of the door. Ian uses all his strength, but the rock only manages to scratch the window. He even injures his hands, but the window still doesn't break. Despite all this, Ian doesn't stop and finally manages to break the glass window, which lets in some air from outside. They call out for help, but there is no one to listen to their cries. After a while, they see that a small ladder is blocking the door from being opened. Ian ties the rock to the towels, and then he tries to move the ladder by swinging the rock in its direction, but the rock is too small to move the ladder. They all think that Michael has gone to the party and waiting for him is pointless. Later, Renee gets an idea of breaking the thermostat, which controls temperature based on the setting set outside by the controller. She believes that doing so will get the temperature down. But Ian stops her from doing so and says that can also result in the temperature rising to its maximum of 247 Fahrenheit, at which point human skin starts to melt. Jenna gets on Ian's side and tells Renee to not mess with the device. In return, Renee verbally attacks Jenna, and this sparks a verbal argument between them. The atmosphere inside the sauna has changed a lot since they have been locked inside. Ian then comes up with a plan. He plans to stop the heater by cutting the power to it. Ian tries to blow the fuse by messing with the bulbs. But instead of blowing the fuse, it blows the lights and keeps the heater running. Also, since Ian's whole body was covered with his sweat, he gets a severe electric shock and passes out. Ian later gets his consciousness back, but he is too weak to even move. With the lights out, and the heater still running, their situation gets much worse than before. Then suddenly, they hear Wade's dog barking. They call the dog by its name, and the dog finds their location and starts barking. The barking of the dog has brought Michael's attention to it. He doesn't seem drunk. And he also looks like he came from somewhere. The group soon realizes that Michael is outside, so Renee calls out to Michael. But just then Wade, who got back a few minutes earlier, is seen handling the fireworks for the festival with another guy. The loud noise from the fireworks doesn't let Renee's cry of help reach Michael. A little later, Michael and Wade meet at the back of the house. Seeing each other, they completely disregard the dog's barking. Wade asks him why he was alone, and Michael tells his story. After getting drunk, he fell asleep on the couch. When he woke up, he found himself alone in the cabin. So, he thought that his friends left him alone and gone to the party all by themselves. He then went to the party but wasn't allowed to get inside, since he didn't have an invitation. So, with no other options left, he returned to the cabin and found Wade and his dog. Back in the sauna, the situation gets out of hand as the group runs out of water to drink and Renee gets sick from the hot temperature. Renee ultimately decides to take matters into her own hands and break the controller, thinking it will lower down the temperature. But Jenna is concerned that will just make things worse, so she tries to convince her to stop. Renee starts yelling at her, and Jenna unwillingly hits her head with a rock, which knocks her out unconscious. Jenna starts freaking out as she fears that she might have killed her friend. Ian checks on Renee and says that she's just unconscious. But Jenna is too scared, and she starts to shake nervously. Out of desperation, she decides to break the controller herself. She grabs the rock and uses it to smash the thermostat. And as Ian feared, it starts to increase the heat to its maximum capacity of 247 Fahrenheit. Seeing this, and after having warned not to mess with the thermostat, Ian turns hysterical. Ian goes through an uncontrollable range of emotions filled with madness, and Jenna gets scared of him. The heat is also slowly starting to reach its maximum level. Ian grabs the heater and tries to move it, which burns his body. But he doesn't stop. In a state of madness, Ian manages to move the heater, but the gas from it leaks and blows up on Ian's body. At this point, Jenna is able to escape the sauna. She gets outside and drinks water, and pours some on her body. She goes into her room and starts to cry. But it's soon revealed that Jenna is just hallucinating. She regains consciousness and finds herself back in the sauna, severely wounded, but still alive. She finds that Ian has lost his life. Renee has also gained her consciousness back, but she is too weak to move. Jenna pulls her body near the broken window and holds her, so she can breathe. She manages to keep Renee's body upright by tying her with the towels. And then she faints due to the extreme heat inside the sauna. Meanwhile, Michael, who is still unaware of his friends being trapped in the sauna, gets back to the cabin where a flashback shows him at the scene where he left the sauna earlier. It shows how Michael was so intoxicated that he inadvertently knocked down the wooden stairs near the door, which ended up trapping his friends inside. In the end, Wade arrives back at the cabin and discovers Renee's head from the window. In the next scene, we see the ambulance arrive and take Jenna and Renee away in a stretcher as they hold hands, having survived. Wade gives his statement to the police, while Michael sits down crying and thinking how his stupid mistake took the life of his dear friend. Make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.